ALG really saved me. I put all of my success on joining this group. People constantly checking in saved me.
I made so many friends with people that I've never met, but I feel incredibly close to, and I consider them family.
It really is a family. It is a place where you can just be yourself and there is no judgment. There is no shame. You are so welcome there.
Nobody has to be in this alone. Everybody is either going through or has gone through the same thing at one point.
Let's do this.
Welcome back to the ALG podcast. If you're listening to this on the day of drop, happy Friday to you. As always, I am J. Arp's Journey, otherwise known as John Arpino. Today, I am joined by my partner in crime, fit_D-Rock David Roden. And today we have a very special guest, guys. My man, JC, all the way down in Miami, Florida, otherwise known as, hold on one second. I apologize. My phone locked. FatFree Foundation. I do apologize, JC. JC, how are you today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, JC, before we get into the nitty-gritty of your journey, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how much weight you're down to date?
All right. So I was born in, want me to go real far back?
Just give me a little brief overview and then we'll take it far back.
Okay. So I'm in Miami, Florida. I started my journey in February of 2019. I was weighing 431 pounds. And in 19 months, I dropped a total of 210 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
One more time for everyone who wasn't paying attention.
So I was weighing 431. And in 19 months, I lost 210 pounds.
My man, that's amazing. All right, cool. Fantastic. Keep going.
Basically one day I was looking at Facebook and I saw that a few of my, not buddies, acquaintances in high school, people you see in the halls and things like that. And I found out that two guys had died of a heart attack and they were in better shape than I was, way better shape than I was. So I thought, my God, if these guys, died at 38 and they weighed 200 something pounds, I'm going to die tomorrow. So I couldn't sleep. Freaked out, and I told my wife, you know what, I'm going to go to a cardiologist tomorrow just to see what's up, So I went, I got an appointment. I got the girl in the front for him to see me right away. And I was actually having in my ankles, they were turning really purple.
Right.
And the ones on my right leg were really, really purple. And it happened to be that I wasn't getting enough blood flow in my ankles. So the doctor told me, look, let's do some tests. They ran some tests. They did all the stuff that they do. And he said, look, give thanks to God that you're alive right now. But if you keep at the rate that you're going based on how your leg is showing, you're dead in 2 years.
Wow.
Hello.
And are we allowed to say bad words in this?
Absolutely.
Oh, cuss up a storm, baby.
So these were my doctor's exact words. He goes, do you have a child? I said, yes. How old is your child? At the time, he was maybe 3 years old. And he said, okay, well, do me a favor. I'm going to be honest with you, man. You already fucked up your life. Don't fuck up your kid's life. Do something about it. And this is my cell phone number. And I want your wife to call me when she gets out of work. This is a top cardiologist in the country.
That's
right.
Savage.
No doctor gives you their cell phone and says, tell your wife to call me. And when he goes, you fucked up your life. Now don't mess up your sons. I just started bawling.
Right.
I started crying, but crying. When I tell you crying. Yeah. And I left there. I was done. Like, that's it. And I said, I got to make a change. And ever since then, I started doing paleo. I didn't know.
Paleo?
I thought, okay, let me find a diet that I would know that I could sustain.
Right.
Because I didn't want to drink protein shakes. I didn't want to eat 6 times a day because, let's be real, unless you're in that world, who the fuck eats 6 times a day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wanted to be the normal guy who wore a large shirt, who ate 3 times a day. And if I did cardio today, great. If I did the next day, great. You know what I'm saying? Live a normal life.
Absolutely.
So I started looking at keto, and then I figured, nah, there's too much fat. I started looking at other types of diets. I thought back at old school, the Atkins,
Right.
you know, and then I thought, you know what, paleo lets me have all the meat that I want, all the veggies that I want, and I can have certain carbs. So at least I'm having carbs. I'm not cutting them. So I'm like, all right, let me do paleo. Brother, I started doing paleo. Just started doing paleo and I couldn't walk. So my life was the bed to the dining room table to the sofa. I would have my baby on my chest. Okay, that was my life. Back to the dining room table, back to the bed.
Wow.
That was my life. I would shower every other day. My wife would have to tie my shoes because I couldn't tie my shoes. I was telling David, I was 10 pounds away from not being able to clean my ass. Straight up. It was that bad. I'm being honest. I mean,
absolutely,
100%.
man. Hey, listen, I mean, I can tell you personally, I was 510 pounds. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was bad. I couldn't walk because I'd get pains right away.
Right.
And so I said, okay, I'm doing the diet. Now let me start walking. How can I walk? So I said, all right, let me grab my kid's stroller. So I'd walk like the old people. Push the stroller, little by little. I'd get tired. I'd lean on a car.
Right.
I'd lean on a car every 5 steps. I'd lean on a car and just keep on going, bro. And then that turned into 1 time around the block, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Then I said, okay, let me go to the gym and we'll start doing cardio.
Okay.
Doing cardio, just regular, normal walking. So basically just walking.
Wait. Hold on. See, there's about 70% of personal trainers that I see on social media constantly. I'd say, you have to strength train and do a bunch of big, heavy lifts to lose body fat. And if you don't, you're not doing it right. No. Is that true?
It's not true. Okay. That's to a certain point, yes, but no, it's not necessary.
Correct.
For me, when you're at a point where you just need to drop those pounds,
absolutely.
As long as you cut your calories, even if you don't exercise, as long as you cut your calories and you just lay there, you're going to lose weight.
100%.
Absolutely.
You know,
my friend Anthony says if when you're at a certain weight point, like where we all were one point in time, you could just drink water and wiggle your ankles and you'll lose weight. You know what I mean?
There you go. I tell everybody, it's hilarious, bro. I tell them, if going like this 100 times makes you sweat, you're gonna drop weight.
Absolutely. So now we have, your process so far. We have your why. Now let's take it back. How did we get to that heavy weight? How did we get to the point of your doctor telling you, hey, you fucked up? Right.
All right. So when I was born, I was a preemie. So okay. I don't know if you guys know, or at least back then, they would inject a lot of cortisone, a lot of different things to develop, to make us grow. Right. That's what they would do to the preemies, at least back then in the early 80s. This was what my parents told me. So when I was 6 months old, I wish I have a picture. I can send it later. I was a fucking butterball turkey. But when bro, fat, like not normal fat.
Looking like the Michelin baby boy.
Oh yeah, easily. Like I'm there, I'm on the beach, and it's like just laying there. So that plus, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Hispanic customs.
Talk to me.
Hispanic family.
Grandma tells you to eat everything.
Abuelo, all day, every day.
All day, every day. It's like the Italians, the same thing. It's eat. The more you eat, the more of a man you are. The more you eat, the bigger you're gonna get. Everything is eat. So that didn't help. You know what I mean? Also, I was a very hyper child. A lot of anxiety, a shitload of anxiety. So I would just sometimes just eat. And then, I mean, that's basically it. So I had the obesity problem my whole life. When I got to high school, I actually, in 10th grade, I actually dropped weight because I was getting attention from girls. Because I would always hear, you have such a beautiful face. You have such beautiful blue eyes. But, why don't you lose weight? You know what I mean? And what saved me was I had to overdevelop this outgoing personality.
Yes.
To win people over.
Yep.
Win the girls and all that. And I said, you know what? I got kind of cocky in that moment. I said, I want to be like the perfect storm. I want to be able to look good and have the personality and just kill the high school girls. You know what I mean? Like how, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I said I started to lose weight, man, and I dropped weight, and it was like, forget about school. It was like party. It was like all girls, girls, girls.
So how did you do it back then?
So back then, I would make like a turkey sandwich, your typical, what your parents always told you, you know, eat a little bit of food, have a turkey sandwich, have some fruits, and don't eat at night. You know? And I was the only guy at the gym that would do the aerobics class with all the girls. I was the only guy, seriously. So I would get out of school, I would ride bike to the gym. So that was one cardio right there. I do weights, I get on the treadmill, and I would do aerobics. This was an everyday thing. And and during lunch at school, I would run around the track.
Okay.
That takes balls. That takes balls.
Yeah. Yeah. And I dropped it. And it was great. And then I got my first girlfriend, and shit went to hell. Like everything. I got comfortable. I got fat and she got fat.
It's called love weight. Happy weight. Happy weight.
But honestly, what took my weight to another level was, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but I started making good money.
Okay. No, that doesn't sound ridiculous at all.
Doesn't sound ridiculous at all.
I started making good money, and I started living a more like, hey, let's go to better restaurants, and eat out every day. Why are we going to cook home? Let's have the $50 steak on Monday, the $60 lobster on Tuesday. We're living the life.
Yeah.
You know
So for those that don't know, what do you do for a living?
I'm a real estate broker. I sell real estate in Miami. But back then I would fly all over the world. I even went to China, and I would bring investors from there to buy in Miami.
Wow. So you're doing big corporate buildings? Like what do you specialize?
Residential properties. Yeah, residential. But back then I hooked up with the right people who were very well connected, good money. And I kind of, like I said, I always had that personality, but I didn't have that circle of very, rich people, I guess.
Right.
And they put me in that section, and it was just like, boom.
Isn't it funny how fat guy usually have the gift of the gab? It's like we have the gift of the gab first.
Yes.
And then we get the body. We get the body, but it doesn't come to way later in life.
Yes.
My favorite, I got a funny story for you on that, because I think I may have talked about it on the podcast before. So like in college, I went to Central Michigan University, and it's a big D1. And I remember going to college, and I was friends with all the cheerleaders. I was friends with all the gymnasts. I was friends with, all the football players, all the athletes is who I was friends with.
Right.
And it was always funny, because what would happen is I would literally get texts from the cheerleaders, from all these girls saying, hey, are you going to the WAHO? Where are you going? And girls would ask me where I'm going, because they knew wherever I went, I would protect them. I'd have a fun time. But when push comes to shove, I wasn't going to try. This is my mindset back then, because I was 400 plus pounds. So like, I don't have a chance with these girls. So I'm just gonna have a fun time, make friends, and keep that. And then I'm going to protect them. And so like whenever a guy got outlandish, I dealt with it. And then the girls felt safe around me. But then the funny part is, when I started losing weight, when I first hit like 100 pounds down, I got this friction with a lot of the girls, because I'm like, shit, are they attracted to me now? They're not attracted to me. Maybe man, what's going on? Like, and I got like really kind of, there was like an issue here, because I'm like, fuck, now do I have a chance? And it's like I had to deal with this, like that step between the two, because like before you just accept it as a Linnell, like, oh, that's not gonna happen, so whatever, I'm just gonna have fun. And now it's like, oh well, shit, maybe I do have a chance. And it was a fun transition I had. And I know John didn't have that issue. He's just a stud muffin who's engaged now. So like
gift of gab, babe. Personality, gift of gab. You didn't need it.
That's it. He has it.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, back to my man JC over here. So JC, as we were saying, so gift the gab took you to the right places, put you in front of the right people. You were making a ton of money, right? So now the money comes in. We're eating a lot better.
Money comes in.
And butter has a lot of calories. Lobster and butter has a lot of calories.
Butter brings a lot of calories. So we started eating a lot. I started gaining weight. My wife got pregnant.
Is the wife the high school girlfriend or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. No.
I'm sorry, I had to ask.
You're good, bro. So she got pregnant, and then once we had the baby, I wanted to be with him the whole time.
Right.
You know, I don't know if you guys got kids, but once you do, and I know it sounds, everybody says the same thing, but bro, it is true, man. Once you have your kid, you just want to be with your kid the whole time. So, and since I wasn't in that rush of I have to go to the office, I have that 9 to 5, I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me stay home. He'd be with me. We'd watch movies. And it's like if I was semi-retired, I wasn't retired, but I was just like, with my kid. I wouldn't care about anything else. So that I wouldn't move. I wouldn't go anywhere. And then we would just eat. And I had a nanny. We got a nanny to live with us. And of course, the nanny cooks breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever we want. It's like having your own personal chef. So
we're talking sugary French toast. We're not talking 2 eggs over easy, some egg whites, and a little bit of.
We're talking South American fried arepas and all that stuff.
Oh.
Yeah,
I need to come to my
stuff. So I was having literally three arepas. You know what? Do you guys know what arepas are?
Yes, I do. I don't know if David does.
Negatory Ghost Rider. I have no idea what.
Imagine. I'm just gonna put sandwiches. 3 sandwiches.
Like deep fried.
No, I don't even know how to explain
You're
it.
never going to be able to explain it to him. He's a white kid from the cold. He's
super Dutch here. We're talking super Dutch white boy right here.
Yeah. He's the male Little Debbie. Okay, that's all you have to know.
I'll just take that.
I started eating, man, and then I guess I started having a beer at 4 p.m. For some reason, I wanted a beer at 4 p.m. I was never into drinking, but I'd have a beer at 4 p.m.
Interesting.
An afternoon beer, and little by little, man, it was just like gaining weight. Obviously, my wife would tell me, I'd get pissed off at her. She put up with a lot of crap because she would try to help me, and I'd blow up on her.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And, just things got really bad. I started gaining weight, and I don't know, man, just little by little, I knew that I was gaining weight, but I just kept on going.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I couldn't stop it. And then I went to
hold on. Now, what physical changes were you noticing? Because, from my past experience and speaking to others, who've lived a similar lifestyle as all of us, sometimes at first we don't realize, especially when we've been obese for most of our life. Right. You know what I mean? We almost think it's normal to have to hold our breath to bend over to tie our shoes. And then when we're not able to tie our shoes anymore, we think that, that's sort of normal. We think it's normal to shop in just a DXL and not experience a JCPenney's, a Macy's, wherever the hell else normal people are shopping. That's not normal to us. We don't know that. Right. So were you noticing things were getting out of hand, or were you just like, fuck this, I have this, like it's whatever?
No, I was noticing it, but I did nothing about it.
Gotcha.
I let it take over my life. For example, when I realized that I couldn't tie my shoes.
Right.
One day I was in Atlanta, and I was walking in a park with my son, and all of a sudden I couldn't walk. Just couldn't walk. Too much pain. When I went on a cruise ship and I couldn't walk to the buffet table, that my wife had to take me to the room and literally punch my leg to give it like blood flow because I couldn't feel it.
Wow.
Okay. I have pictures there also. I can share all these things with you guys. Sex, when you realize that you can only do one position.
Right.
I'm being real.
No, 100%. 100%.
I won't admit it, but it's the reality. You know what I mean?
It's being. I was gonna make that go savage. I'm like, no, I'm gonna pause.
No, like seriously. I mean, your stomach is huge. You can have like the biggest thing or not the biggest thing. It doesn't matter. Your stomach's in the way. It's just
absolutely.
You just physically can. It's got nothing to do with size. It's just your stomach.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You breathe. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do anything. But then what would happen? As soon as I was done, I'd go to the kitchen and I'd want to eat. And then the next morning, the 3 arepas again with egg, ham, and cheese.
Yep.
You know what I mean? A big ass coffee this big, and go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's crazy how it really, depending on the individual, because like obviously, I just going back to the beginning of what you're saying, there is some truth to that that some people don't want to admit, which is there's some genetic disposition where it's just you can pack it on quick. Some people can pack it on friggin' quick.
Yeah.
That some other people just can't do. Like there's people out there that can put down 8,000 calories a day, and yeah, they'll be 30 pounds overweight, but they're not 200.
Right.
And it's like, it's crazy how certain people can just crank that body fat on quick, and other people can do basically eat the same things. And yeah, they're gonna be a little overweight, but not massive. And it's I always say that this is gonna be up your alley too, because the finances is like, it's like credit card debt and debt. It's like you can zone out real quick and be in 25,000 in debt real quick.
Easily.
And before you know it, you're like, oh, now I'm at 26% APR. This I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Same thing. It crawls up and gets you. But at least for me, when I noticed that it was the end, that's it. Aside from the doctor, was when I realized that I wouldn't want to see my family. When I would turn down a client, okay, I would sell multi-million-dollar condos, which means if I sold a $1 million condo, I made a $30,000 paycheck.
Right.
Okay? So let's put this in so you guys can understand it. I would turn away a $30,000 paycheck because I was embarrassed for that person to see me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was always the guy that even if I was chubby, fat, whatever you want to call it, I was the first one on the dance floor. I was the funniest guy on the table.
Yep.
I was the guy that was the most outgoing one. Okay. And it got to a point where not only now was I limited physically, but now I was limited mentally. And
caught up to you.
So once that hit, that was when it's like, okay, my life hit rock bottom. I'm done. I'm out of here. Like there's no reason for me to live except for my kid and my wife.
Mm-hmm.
No more motivation. And then once I heard the thing with the doctor, bam, done. And that was it. And that was my past where now turned into.
Absolutely. So take me through it now. I know we briefly went over it before. So doctor has a conversation with you. You look through all the diets. You choose paleo. Now walk me through your first week of paleo. What was that like?
I didn't want to stress myself out. So what I did was I hired a meal prep company.
Okay.
You know how they have them?
Oh yeah.
And I would order the portions that were double protein. I would pay an extra $2 per meal to have double protein.
Gotta have.
And all I would do was I would divide that into two. So I'd have one for lunch, one for dinner. And then for breakfast, I would have, for example, egg whites I would throw in low sodium ham. I would even get the ham and wash it so all the sodium can get off.
Mm-hmm.
I would squeeze it, chop it, throw it in there. That was my breakfast. I had all protein for breakfast. Then I had my lunch and I had my dinner.
Now, were you counting calories at this point? Have you ever counted calories?
I didn't count it.
Yeah.
I didn't count it because I'm too much of a perfectionist. So I had to be either all out, either do it 100% or don't do it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I had to change that. You know what I mean? So I said, you know what? Let me just do it how it is. And I'm not going to count calories. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to weigh myself. I'm not going to do shit. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that and walk.
I love it.
I swear to you, just that and walk. My first year, I lost 100 and something pounds.
I love it.
The something I have it written down somewhere, but that was enough to get me down. Once I lost that weight, there is a franchise here. You guys probably have it too. It's called 9 Rounds.
9 rounds.
I've heard of it, but we don't have it.
Okay. So it's a kickboxing 30-minute circuit training system.
Okay.
So it's a trainer included. You go in at whatever time. There's no class times. Every 3 minutes, a new round begins.
Oh, and you should always just jump in.
Just jump in.
Cool.
So I'm like, okay, our trainers is going to be a shitload of money. Blah blah blah. With this, I pay $80, $90, trainer included. I'm going to do it. All right, perfect. You do 2 rounds of weights, whatever certain weights they tell you that day, and the rest is cardio. You finish with abs, you're done for the day in 30 minutes. Bro, I fell in love with the place, man. There was this girl that she saw how hard I was trying, and she's like, you know what? You're a big guy. You need put more muscle. Let me add more weights to each round. So each round was in 3 minutes. I had to do weights and cardio in each round.
Okay.
And she wouldn't charge me extra. She actually took the time and helped me. And man, my body just started changing. And I'm a big frame guy. So the shoulder started popping, the arms started popping.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, like I like this.
Yeah.
You know? And so I was already kind of like, okay, I'm losing weight, I'm looking better, but how is it possible all these guys maintain their bodies shredded all the time? It's impossible that they just eat chicken and broccoli their entire lives. It's impossible. Right. So I started looking at YouTube. In YouTube, I started looking at recipes, and I find out how to do protein popsicles, protein pancakes, protein cake, protein everything, right? But for example, if the recipe said 2 egg yolks and 5 egg whites and a protein powder, I would do everything except for the egg yolks. I would do it even stricter. Bro, I tried 30 different proteins to try to find the texture to make it as best as possible. Bro, I can make the best freaking pancake made out of protein you'll have in your life without any oats.
Really?
I'm telling you right now. Delicious. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I started using those little tricks. So when I was hungry, I'd make my little cake, put a little bit of almond butter on top, and that's what helped me survive.
My man was hacking his food.
Yeah, that's what John's a huge advocate of food hacking, just finding different unique ways to take your favorite kind of naughty meals and make them work.
That's what I did, bro. And believe it or not, that's what helped me survive, because let's be real, man. Paleo all day, every day for 2 years. Come on. So you can't. So when I'm looking at one of these recipes, you guys got to watch this guy's video, man. I see, on the side, they have those videos that says, there's one that says, I went from obese to a WBFF bodybuilder.
Yep. WIFBB or IFBB.
No, WBFF.
Oh, WBFF. Okay.
In 2 years. I see a picture of a big guy, bro, who ends up, photoshopped in real life. like that. Like, holy shit. So I tell the owner of 9 Round, I'm like, he's a professional bodybuilder. I'm like, I want you to train me for this. They have a transformation division. They don't care if you have loose skin. Can you train me? He's like, are you sure you want to do this? I'm like, yes, I want to do it. I don't care. How much will you charge me? I'll pay you.
Right.
And he's like, well, honestly, my wife's mother she has cancer. I'm like, listen, I'll pay you up front, bro. Let's just do it. And he's like, okay, you don't have to pay me up front, but don't worry about it. Let's get it done. Whatever. We start, everything great. I'm starting to work out. COVID, bam. Everything closes. So we're like, fuck, what do I do? I was all excited. There was a show in July, in August, the whole year. Every month they had a different show in a different city. And Miami was on lockdown, and we would have to sneak into the gym every morning. Would put the pads on the door because we happen to have a bakery, which the bakeries didn't close down. The gyms did. And all the cops would come in the morning to have food in the bakery. So we would have to close block the thing so nobody could see that we were in there.
That's funny.
And the trainer would invent and do pulleys and different things because it wasn't a full gym.
Right.
And we would do our own exercises, bro. And I would go every single day and follow my diet and do everything I needed to do. And it came to, this was in January. In October was my first competition. It was in Atlanta.
Yep.
I had lost 210 pounds. David, if you can show him the pictures, I'm not saying this to brag, but I was ripped.
Oh, man, dude, honestly, like I'm not like in comparison game. You look better than me on stage. There's no question about it. You did better than me.
I had saggy skin, but nasty saggy skin, and my abs were popping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like I was shredded, and I went on stage and I competed.
I'm looking at your pictures right now. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to link your Instagram to the video and to the audio, but this is fucking insane.
Yeah, dude, to think that he was 440 and how lean he got on stage.
It's wild.
It's wild.
Absolutely insane. Yeah.
It was work, bro. It was work. But you know what? Everybody was pigging out. Everyone had the COVID excuse. I kept on going. That's why I don't give a shit what anybody.
Wait. Hold on. Pause. I thought when catastrophic events that we can't control happen, we immediately make worse decisions for ourselves by treating our body like garbage, by drinking too much, eating too much, sitting all day for the fact of something that we can't control. I thought that's how everyone's supposed to live, right?
That's how everybody else lived, not how
I mean, listen, it's funny you say that. I got into the best shape of my life when COVID first started because of the fact that COVID pushed me to be better. You know, because I didn't want to be one of those stories of the guy who lost a fuck ton of weight and then gained it all back as the world locked down.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it.
I want to know, what was the mindset shift for you? Like, obviously, you have to feel fucking amazing, balls to the walls. You just competed, but let's take it back just a little bit. When you realize shit is actually changing, right? Like, what's going through your mind, and like, how's the relationship with you and your wife going at that point?
So this before the competition.
Yeah. Way like as the weight is starting to pour off, you know, after that first 100 pounds, after the first 100 pounds, like when you decide that you're going to do this show, like what is going through your mind, and, you know, the relationship at home and everything like that.
All right. So I would always, at home, everything was good. The only thing that had my wife worried was COVID, that since I was out and her father is in dialysis, that I could, you know, I'd get something and then he wouldn't survive COVID. But, you know, again, I always had a mask. I always cleaned my hands. And I mean, thank God everything was fine. But that was the only problem that I had. She was happy that she saw that I was losing weight. I mean, imagine she was getting a brand new toy. Think about it. Yeah. So it's like, you know, she supported me in that sense. She just hated the fact that, you know, when if she wanted to have a glass of wine with me, I wouldn't have it. Even that little sip. Yep. You know what I mean? And sometimes she just needed that. Just give me those 5 minutes. Just have that little sip so I can feel like I'm having that moment with you. But I wouldn't do it because
that's a real issue for a lot of people.
Yeah, I was laser focused on. I mean, this is how. I know this is not healthy to say, but for you to achieve what I achieved, you need to get obsessed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes,
you got to get obsessed. There's that saying: if you want to be the best, you got to be obsessed with it. That is so true, you know. But I try to involve my family as much as possible. When I would do my protein shakes, I would have my son do them with me. I tell him, you know, Papi's like a baby, daddy, whatever. Love talk. Yeah. You want to do a YouTube video with daddy? So we would do a protein cake video, and my dad would be like, "Welcome to my dad's Fat Free with JC channel." You know, I would involve my family so they can at least feel that they were a part of this journey.
Right.
Shit, now I blanked out.
You're doing the videos with your son. You have the laser focus.
Right. So I'm laser focused. I'm ready to go. I want to do this. I mean, I got so into it that it turned into, I need to give my son that trophy. I need to see him on the floor, on the chair, seeing that his dad gets that trophy. And that's what I would use as fuel every single day. I mean, it got to a point where I would be on the treadmill, I would close my eyes and I would picture the moment and I would cry.
I did the same thing.
Okay. And I lived it. And every time I would do a rep that I couldn't hold it anymore, that it just, my arms were about to fall off. I felt like the psycho at the gym. I would close my eyes and I would just say, champion, 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 champion. I would just say champion, champion, champion. And I would do 100 more reps by mentally just getting in that zone. You know?
I find that fascinating because I did the same thing. Like after I'd lost my first 50 and like I got down the first 50 and I made the big shift to like, I'm going to lose 200. And then getting to this point where right after my first 2 excess skin removal surgeries, I remember this is like 4 years ago now. I remember after the 2 excess skin removal surgeries, I looked at myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do a bodybuilding show. I'm gonna compete. I'm gonna really do this. And one of my biggest motivations is I would just sit there, close my eyes, and visualize myself just fucking shredded, standing on stage, bawling my fucking eyes out. And like everyone looking at you, like, why are you crying? And he goes, you won't understand, but that's fine. I'm shredded on stage and bawling my fucking eyes out. We literally visualize the same thing. I love it.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing, man. So that's basically what I did for motivation and stuff. And it was always my son. It was always my son. And I told my trainer one time what my motivation was. And every time that I couldn't do something, he'd come behind me. He'd be like, do you want to lose in front of your son?
Oh, that's savage.
Bro, I would turn into the Hulk. I'd be like, bro, he would always do it. Like he knew where to hit. He knew where to hit.
Absolutely.
That's fun.
And brother, I fucking got on stage. The guy that lost the closest to me he lost 185 pounds. Like when he saw me, he was like, wow. Like he's like, no, like no way. Like he saw my son. I'm like, hey, I told my son, I'm like, look, he's just like daddy. He lost the same like daddy. Right. You know, he used to be really big like daddy and now he's not.
Right.
And then he looks at my son, he goes, your dad is the man. Yeah, he tells my wife, I wish I had a wife like you that could put up with this, because what was done here is unheard of. So that's when I kind of realized what I had achieved, because I didn't notice what I would achieve, and people would tell me, do you not realize what you've done? I'm like, no, bro. Like I didn't realize that.
I'm just doing me, man. I'm just doing me, and I'm doing my son. Like that's what
like boom, like laser focused on winning that shit. That's all that I wanted to do. And so yeah, the show was like amazing. I walked out and you hear the crowd, because they put your before picture in the back.
Right? Yep.
When I walked out, oh man, it was like, oh, everybody was like freaking out. Like my wife was like, there was people cheering for you that I had no idea who the hell they were. But I couldn't hear everything on stage, but you would hear the echoes like from everybody like in shock. And when I get off the stage, I text my trainer. I'm like, how did I do? And he sends me the picture, and he's like, there's nothing to say. And he sends me the picture, and I'm like at a pose like this.
Yeah.
Plop, plop, plop. And he's like, killer, like done, like you killed it. Like that's it. Like don't even bring anybody else out. You know what I mean? And whatever, I was super happy. And then I gave my son the medal. My wife records. I thought it was a trophy, but they give us a medal. And I have the video. And I have a video of me that I give my son the medal, and I give him a kiss. And that was it, bro. And it was amazing. It was amazing. I kissed my trainer. I told him, bro, if I win, I'm going to make out with you. And he said, you can do whatever you want if you win.
That's amazing.
That's true. Now, one of the things I want to pivot to, because I right before we started, I had this conversation, because I know contrary to popular belief, and like when it comes to doing a bodybuilding show and you're doing things so restrictive, you're doing things that are very tough to sustain. And oftentimes there's a relapse to it. Like for me, I'm sure, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but like my competition weight on stage, I was like 212. And in 8 weeks, I went from 212 to 258 in 8 weeks. And it's savage. Like now, obviously, you look at the picture and I filled out. It's not like crazy, like super fat, but I filled out, and you're like, holy crap, how did that happen? I know you said you had a story with that. So what, after the bodybuilding shows, you had some type of event. I don't even know what it is yet. How was that transition?
So as soon as I finished the show, I had 5 weeks later, there was another show in Miami. So I just continued training. So I didn't really do any bounce. It's called bounce back, what you're talking about.
Right.
And I didn't get any bounce back because I just continued training to get even better for the following show. I was already had this momentum, and I'm like, shit, I want to do this shit back to back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, when I did the Miami one, that one was like, nobody was nowhere near, like, and no disrespect to anyone. It's just,
of course.
Yeah.
Nobody else went, not even over 100 pounds. It wasn't even like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't, no. And then after that one, then I got comfortable, and you put on up to 258 with 40 something pounds in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I put on 29 pounds in 1 month.
Yeah.
1 month. But it's 20 of those pounds, let's say 19 of those pounds were water.
Right.
Because
Definitely.
You deplete and you
Absolutely.
get so dry that, you know, your body just sucks it in and saves it.
Right.
Yep.
You know? But now that I learned of that, now I know what to do on the next show. I know that the next show, it's another cheat day, you know what I mean? And then you just got to continue, maybe not as intense, but you can't just boom.
Oh yeah.
Just
You can't.
stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Pizza.
That's my recommendation, because mentally, bro, it fucked me up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I was
Sure.
like, where are my abs? Where are my abs? You know what I mean? In less than a week. Because let's be real, a show body is a rented body.
It's rented.
Oh yeah. That's what a lot of people don't understand at all.
They don't understand that literally it takes a week to do that, of like water depletion, salt depletion, all this kind of stuff to make your skin super thin, to do all these type of things, to do all like, but it's fleeting. It's fleeting.
Yeah. And that's what happened to me after the Miami show. I put that weight on, you know, we went to Texas, so we started having barbecue and this and all that, and boop, it went up. And then I decided I'm going to compete. So the winners of the shows in the United States will compete in the World Transformation Show, which is in Las Vegas, August 13th.
Interesting.
Poro's doing that show, right? Oh no, his is the 15th. His show.
Poro's doing it.
Oh okay. I thought his show was on the 15th.
Yeah, I went to see Poro in Atlanta where he went to.
Oh okay.
I went to see him there, and we met up, and you know, we talked, and he qualified for Worlds.
Yes.
So he's gonna do Worlds. So I'll be on the same stage with him that day.
Nice.
It's gonna be a really good show, like really good show. There's a lot of
Yeah, I'm trying to get out to Vegas for that.
yeah, it's gonna be really good, man. So yeah, that's the next competition. So I thought, okay, in Atlanta, I competed against 2 people that both had tummy tuck surgeries.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have tummy tuck surgeries, and I was leaner than they were. So I said, if this is going to be Worlds, and I'm going to be challenged, I don't know if you follow into fitness. All these guys from Australia,
Yeah.
These guys are badasses.
Oh yeah.
Australia, London, it's just like they live for gyms.
Yep.
So if you want to beat any of these people, I'm like, I got to take my skin off. So February 1st, I did a tummy tuck.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So I technically only have 4.5 months to prepare for Worlds, but
Are you cleared to lift yet?
I'm already lifting. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Technically, I got cleared like a week and a half ago,
Right.
but I was lifting before, but to a certain amount.
Yeah. All right.
Now,
I mean, you didn't do what I did after my
Yeah.
first guest. I went on a roller coaster 8 weeks afterwards, and I tore my incision. Don't do that.
no. No.
I just had my chest done in February also.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. So that's my next chapter, where now I'm training for Worlds, and then hopefully just, you know, win. But this time I'm actually like not going with that mentality of I'm gonna win, because I did the surgery, and I know that may or may not put me back. I don't know. We'll see how my body.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, once you develop that laser focus, you can turn it on and off. You know what I mean? Like that's something that I've learned, and a lot of the people around me, you know, they say the same thing. Once you pick up that trait, it's like, okay, I could do this. Like I've already done this before. I could do it again, you know, but the same mentality that you walked into that last show. I mean, I'm just giving you my 2 cents. The last, you know, the same mentality that you had, you telling yourself you're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win. Fucking do the same exact fucking thing.
Oh,
you know what I mean? You already won this shit, you know? Like you walk into Vegas like, fuck it, I'm the high roller. I already fucking won.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how you win. That's how you keep the momentum going.
Yeah. No, I got the momentum. I just, the surgery kind of like made me
hindered the process. Yeah.
Reality in the sense,
right.
It's the surgery. It's the healing of how flat will I be.
So what'd you do? Did you do a hip to hip or you did full circumferential?
I did up to like from here to here.
Gotcha. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's hip to hip. Okay.
Yeah.
No more than hip to hip, a little bit farther back, but
okay.
I'm tight, like tight.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Again, if we go based on what I've lost, like total transformation, I'm gonna be up there. Be up there. If they go by total shreddedness, that's where I can't guarantee because I don't know how low.
How that swelling is gonna how the swelling is gonna drop in the next five months. No, I totally get you.
That's the only part that has me like, you know.
Now, question for you. This is going to be something, and I don't want you to like, because again, some people have the switch, some people don't. I just want to see where your head's at. Especially within the ALG community, you have people that have lost 200 pounds, that have lost 300 pounds, lost 100 pounds. Some of them have flipped the switch. I'm never going back. This is it. Like there's not a shadow of a doubt. Like for myself, like there's just the God honest truth. There is not, I would die before I allow myself to go back to 400 pounds, period. Like I will do whatever it takes to keep myself to where I'm at. In your honest opinion, because you're in momentum right now, you're in the peak of your transformation. You're in the high of your like the bodybuilding shows. Where are you at mentally when it comes to, is there any shadow of a doubt you fear going back, or are you just like, it's already done?
No, I mean, I will always live with the fear.
Okay.
Which will keep me from going back.
I respect that.
Of course.
But I know that I will never go back.
Mm-hmm.
I won't.
Oh, I guess I do the same thing. Like, yeah, like it's knowing that it's possible, but like, we've had talks with people in the community calls where it's like people are outright scared to go back in the sense that they don't think they can sustain it.
Oh, no. I'm sustaining it. Like I'm sustaining it. I will do until God allows me to do it. I will do a bodybuilding show every year. One. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter.
I'm the same way in the sense of accountability. I love having whatever that accountability is. I love that, whether it's I'm going to do a 5K or I'm going to do a marathon or I'm going to do a bodybuilding show or something that has this, gives you the sense of accountability that you got to keep your edge.
Yeah. I'm doing a show no matter what, period.
Yeah. So that's a great mindset.
That's one. And the other one is I don't know if you guys know the FatFree Foundation. Everything started as FatFree with JC. That was
I love that.
And then I changed to FatFree Foundation because I legit opened up a full-blown foundation.
Oh, really?
Obviously to be fat-free. That's what it's called. And it's to help obesity. Kids, adults, doesn't matter. Don't give a shit. Just period. I made up a slogan and it said, obesity almost killed me and now it's time for me to kill obesity. So that's what I do. That's what I want to do. And I love it. I give free workouts. But I don't charge, man. Everybody's trying to make money. I don't charge, but that's something that keeps me motivated. The fact that you guys call me or tell me, hey, you want to be on my podcast?
Yeah.
I want to get more popular because that's what's going to keep me in everybody's eyes and is going to keep me from eating that extra donut.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Keep me from getting fat again. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And,
you're putting your journey public.
And the shows.
Yeah.
The shows.
Well, because you're putting yourself out there. Once you put yourself out there, you have to hold yourself accountable to everything that you're saying.
100%.
You know, that's why I feel like I was so successful with my weight loss, because once I was putting, most of my, if not all my journey on Instagram, it was like, fuck, I can let myself down all I want, but now I have this following. I have 28,000 followers now. Like that's a lot of fucking people. Like at the end of the day, like that's a lot of goddamn people. And when I say something, I need to back that up or else I'm a liar now. You know what I mean? Like, and that's another thing. You can lie to yourself all fucking day long. You start lying to other people. That's terrible. I mean, lying to yourself is bad enough, but once you put something out there and you don't follow through with it, you know?
Done.
So let me ask you, bodybuilding show, we could check that off the list. Obviously, you said you want to have one every year. You just had a tummy tuck. Do you see yourself having any other excess skin removal surgeries?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, cool.
That's it. There's no need. I don't care. I mean, I have like in my, you can't see because of the shirt, but like I have a little bit of looseness, but like my arms are, I don't know if you can see. But
yeah, absolutely.
They're fucking pythons.
Yeah, you're fucking jacked.
You want to know how you fix loose skin? You get fucking pythons.
Get big. That's it.
Yeah.
But no, I don't plan on doing any loose skin. No more. I don't want any more surgeries. I just want right now just to maintain. My next goal is to learn to now take my body to that ripness without the skin. And how am I going to stay within 10 pounds, 5, 8, 10 pounds within that and try to live that.
That's the game I play.
Yeah.
That's the fun one. Yeah. You haven't had that too much experience yet. That's the next level. Because like obviously you have the weight loss side and then you have the sustainability side. And they're two different games.
I want to keep my abs the whole year side. That's what my new goal is. So I want to see if I maybe don't deplete so much. I don't know. Well, I'm going to play with it. A lot
of abs is genetics too.
Yeah.
You know, that's what people don't realize as well. You either have the genetics or you don't, which I'm not coming at you at all or anything like that. Right. But there's people that think, you know, you drop a whole shit ton of weight and it's boom, instant abs. You know, you get a tummy tuck, boom, instant abs. You have to have the genetic. Well, exactly. Well, I know. You preaching to the choir here, bro. I've had abs like 3 times in my life since this weight journey started. You know, and I'm trying to get them back right now.
Well, look, all I can tell you, it's all your diet because I didn't do abs not one time, and you saw how I got on.
Oh, 100%.
Not one time. So it's all your diet.
Yeah.
You know, and that whole I took off the skin, I'm gonna be ripped. Yeah, right. They took off at least 15 pounds of skin, and I'm telling you right now. I felt fatter than when I was fat.
Yep.
Because
absolutely
you get bloated.
Yeah. You get swollen as shit, man.
Yeah. And then you're like, what the hell did they do to me? How come my abs aren't out?
So have you been getting the lymphatic massages?
I did. I still do them.
What did you feel about them?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
See, I never did that when I had my tummy tuck or even my chest surgery. I never did it.
That's what helps with the water and the swelling and all that stuff. I went all out. I did it 7 days a week. The first couple weeks, you know. But yeah, definitely do them. I strongly recommend it. I think that's why I actually healed so fast.
Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, I've already been working out for a month.
Right.
So I don't know what else to tell you. What else can I tell you that is part of my story? Unless
no, man, we're definitely
actually. It's one of the things that that you had said beforehand. It's actually a pivot back because I think it's important too because it shows you surgery isn't the end all be all, and it's a tool. And depending on how things work for you, it can benefit you, it can hurt you. We were just talking about this a little bit because obviously some people have surgery, some people don't. When it comes to the enhancement of it. You had a lap band a few years ago and it just failed completely, correct?
Yeah. So
wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. So back 2004, I had a lap band. So back then it was in a research study phase. It didn't really fully exist. It wasn't approved by the FDA. So I tried to have a gastric bypass. That got denied by the insurance. And then the lady, like I said, I've always been a nice, charming person. Some lady calls me. She's like, hey, we're going to have this. You might want to be a part of this research study, blah, blah. So I got me and a friend of mine into a research study. So we got it for free. The lap band for free. We got paid, medical attention, everything.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Nutritionist, psychologist, like the works, everything free. So I put on the band. I start losing weight because I start going off. I'm 100% in or 100% out. So I get the band, I start doing exercise. They start tightening the band. Bro, I lose a shitload of weight. Everybody that is there, I'm like the most hated guy because I'm the one that lost the most weight and nobody else barely lost weight.
Right.
But it was because I busted my ass in the gym. It wasn't really the actual tool. as time went on, I would eat more. And what would happen was the band was so tight that my esophagus would act like a stomach.
Okay.
So my esophagus almost exploded because the food would stay here.
Right.
Instead of go down. Remember, it's a ring that they put right here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they took it off and whatever, I just gained weight again. But I started 3 years ago, I started getting really bad reflux. I mean, I'm sleeping and I would wake up throwing up acid.
Wow.
It was really bad. So I'm like, okay, well, how do I get it fixed? Luckily, the surgeon that fixes it does gastric sleeves. He's one of the top surgeons. So he's like, look, I mean, I can't really promise you that I can do a sleeve or anything like that because based on the endoscopy that we did, that shit looks pretty fucked up. You know what I mean? And so they went in, they fixed the whole issue with the esophagus. They tightened my esophagus. And basically what he was able to do was remove the damaged portion where the band wraps around. I don't know if you've ever seen one. It's like,
yeah, it looks like a belt, basically, a twist belt.
So I get that damaged part. He was able to remove it because he couldn't do a regular sleeve surgery because if he cut, I would have a leak. If I have a leak, I would die.
Right.
So he was able to fix the problem, and I just, whatever. I took advantage of the fixing of the problem. You know what I mean?
It's always so crazy too, because like you were at a point where like literally not to say no one had options, but it's like you can't even get VSG or any of these surgeries because like the failure of the lap band, you're like this is it. Like you better figure it out, quote unquote, through just food because there is no other options.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I'm not gonna lie, it helped in the sense that okay, that portion that he removed, went from eating 10 plates of food to eating 3.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there was a certain amount of restriction, but like it wasn't like a VSG that, for example, you get a VSG, you have a drumstick, you're done. You know what I mean? I could still have a half a chicken, rice, and beans. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, can I have 3 plates? No, I can't. But I didn't have the half an egg and I was dying.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, surgery, yes, it is a tool. Yes, it can help. But bottom line, it's your diet and it's your freaking head.
It's always your head.
What, so obviously you started this foundation and then what's the, you can change the process all you want, but in your head right now, you have this foundation to help people with obesity transformations and really taking that on. What is your way of doing that right now? Is it coaching? Is it speaking engagements? Is it helping plans? What kind of is your vibe at this point?
I am simply copying what I did and giving it to other people.
Okay.
That's it. I am inventing my system that I did. Okay. I'm not taking credit for it because I'll tell them it's a paleo diet. It's this, and that. I'm just guiding the person, being that motivating factor.
Yep.
And guiding them and say, okay, you're going to do this. So, for example, I have personal trainer, I have a nutritionist, I have a psychologist, I have everyone that I had during my journey. I have a company the company that did the foods for me. And what are we doing? They'll offer whatever they can donate to help people, to get them going. Eventually, they would want to sell them the meal plans and things like that. But at least at the beginning,
of course,
at least
build some momentum.
Yeah.
Right. You start by saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you a month for free at the gym. I'm going to give you, a month free of psychological help. You know what I mean? And at least I'm doing something to benefit people.
100%.
Now, I don't know if I can, I'm not going to say names, but one of the big hospitals here in Miami, I'm talking with the doctor, and we're trying to see if for the young teenagers, like 18, 19, in that range, that are very obese, that just won't lose the weight, if the hospital will operate them for free.
Okay.
Incredible.
So I'm trying to go wherever I go, in a karate school, kids, to get them into karate so they can be active. You know, little things like that. If I can get a week free from everybody in the community and give it to everyone wins here.
Yeah, because some people are going to stick. Like that's just you may not get all of them, but at least you're going to build some momentum.
Exactly. So that's my goal. And
cool.
My main dream is to be that motivational speaker. Like I've been invited to speak at hospitals. I've been invited to speak at universities about motivation. And I like doing that. I want to travel and motivate. But my latest thing now with the foundation is I'm getting my NASM certification, the personal training.
Yep.
So I start class tomorrow because I want to focus on helping the 600, 700, 500, 400 pounders.
Yep.
Can't leave their house. I want to be the guy that gets them off that bed.
I feel you, man.
That's my goal. I don't want to sound mean, but I don't want to help the guy that wants to get ripped for stage. I want to help the one that can't.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So if I can do something where I can find a system of home workouts and all those things for those types of people, that's what I want to do. That's my latest plan.
I love it.
We're all very much alike, especially you and I. I feel the same exact way, and that's a big reason why Dave and I came together to create the Accountable Life Group. So definitely, you know, outside of this podcast, I would definitely like to talk to see how we all could work together going forward, and you know, with your foundation and everything.
I would be amazing. I have bodybuilding.com is like super into helping also. I mean, everyone who I pitch this to is genuinely wants to help, man, because it's bad. Like, it's bad. I don't know if you guys get messages, but I've gotten messages from people that said, you know, hey, I was about to literally drink poison to kill myself, but I just saw your transformation video and you gave me a reason to live.
Absolutely.
Like, I think
you gave me hope.
Just for the shit that I hear.
I feel that, man.
And I know it sounds funny, but I mean that in the most serious way. I'm not trying to be funny with that. It's insane. Like, I couldn't sleep. I have moms that tell me my son tried to kill himself. Like, I want to be that guy that gets that 13-year-old boy to have a fucking girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because I know how it feels. And I take that shit to heart, man. Like, it's just, there has to be a way to fix this fucking problem.
There's a reason why guys like you and I and David have lived the lifestyle and the life that we lived before all this, because it's going to help us into the future. You know, we're put on this earth for this reason. And now we're right in the spot where we're supposed to be to try to help as many people as possible. So it has been a pleasure to meet you. I want to wind down this podcast, but before we do, I like to end the podcast with a series of questions. So can I ask you those questions right now, JC? Awesome, JC. So JC, if you could go back in time and talk to yourself, you know, right around when the doctor had told you, you know, you fucked up, right? So you have no idea what's about to come next. You don't know if you're actually going to do this whole thing or not. What would you go back and tell yourself?
Lift weights sooner.
Respect it.
Yeah, I respect that. I like that.
Well, because I waited till I was 299 to start, and if I would have started earlier, I probably would have looked even better.
Looked even more yoked on stage.
And also 3 solid pieces of advice for people listening at home. They don't necessarily have to be about weight loss.
Love yourself. No matter how deep you think you are, that life is done, it's not done. There is always a solution, whether it's pills, whether it's weight loss surgery, whether it's gyms, whether it's personal trainers, whatever the hell it is. There is always a way out. Don't let obesity finish your life. And the third one, if you start in this journey, it's hard as hell, but if you finish it, oh my God, what you're gonna feel is something that you've never felt before. You're going to feel invincible. Your life is going to change. You would have achieved the most difficult thing to achieve in life if you make it happen. So if you start it, no matter what, just finish it. Absolutely. It took you 40 years to get fat. You have a chance to lose it all in a year and a half. I lost it in 19 months. I'm no different than you. Just do it.
I love that. JC, how can people reach you online? Plug your social, plug your YouTube, plug whatever the hell you got going on.
You can go to my Instagram. It's at FatFree Foundation. My Facebook is FatFree Foundation. And my YouTube is FatFree Foundation.
Really easy.
If you go to my YouTube, this is important for everybody. If you go to my YouTube, one of the local gyms gave me he let me borrow his gym on a Saturday night. They closed the gym and I recorded myself doing over 60 different exercises that you could do at a gym with detailed instructions on how to do it. It's all there for free. I have an ebook with all the foods you cannot eat, everything that you can do in a paleo diet and a sample diet that'll help anybody, anyone. It's free. I'm saving you thousands. I'm opening the doors for you. Take advantage of it. I'm not charging you a dime. I will never charge you a dime. Just freaking use it. Don't get excuses and just do it.
I love it, man. JC, it was an absolute pleasure to meet you, man. I'm really glad that we had the opportunity to talk today. And I know that your journey is definitely going to touch a lot more people, man. You have the ability to touch a lot of lives. And I know you're going to help a lot of people. So thank you for being on today. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you're listening right now, ALG coaching, accountable life coaching is now available. If you visit www.algcoaching.com, you can find the Accountable Life Journal at amazon.com. The links will be in the bio. You can join us each and every single Wednesday night for the ALG community call that is always and always will be absolutely free. We accept new members every single week, and we hope to hang out with you soon. David, I think that's it.
I got one most important thing of all, because it can never be overly dramatized. I'm sorry. There's just no way it can be overly dramatized. I want you to end, as you're listening to the Following This podcast, what are 3 things you're grateful for about today? Go.
One, guys.
I'm just saying it for everyone that's listening right now.
What are you grateful for today, JC?
Actually, yeah, JC, we're just gonna do you. What are 3 things you're grateful for about today?
For you guys for having me here. That's another channel that I can spread my story, spread my foundation. I want to cure the world. Number 1. Number 2, I'm grateful for my family. Without them, I won't be able to do what I'm doing now. And number 3, I'm grateful for my coach that believed in me and saved my life.
I love it. Man. I think that's a great place to end this off. So guys, stay beautiful, stay sexy, stay accountable. Until next time.
Toodles.